So tell me this, if it is possible, as you say, by trying to capture the carbon in fungi and by managing how animals eat and all of that relative to rainfall, what will it take to encourage farmers to do this? Because clearly, as our planet grows from 6 to 9 billion people, feeding all of these people will mean that we're going on that cycle more frequently, more intensely around the world. So doing it in a lower carbon sense makes sense. How can we encourage growers, grazers, to actually use the practices that you're suggesting?
In a nutshell, life is usually all about me.com. We have to explain to them that better carbon management results in them making more profit.
Okay.
It's that simple. We have to form the linkage between greenhouse outcomes and profit. Now, while they're focusing on making money, society gets a free kick in the outcome from a carbon perspective. That's simple.
Now, one of the challenges, and of course, we were chatting about this debate before, Australia has this tremendous challenge of shifting its energy mix. We have a very carbon-intensive mix, and however we come about reducing that, that is a clear challenge for this country. How is it that we can begin to incorporate agriculture as part of the solution and how we create incentives while not really kind of escaping the challenge of shifting that energy mix? What will it take?
I think we have to look at agriculture maybe as a more important shorter-term solution while we're developing all these other technologies to look at chimney stacks, because with agriculture it is something we can achieve immediately. In the case of methane, for instance, it's the same as actually burning cleaner coal. It means that it can't be reversed. You either emit those methane emissions out into the atmosphere or you don't. Now, in the case of planting trees, that's fine, but actually what you're doing with trees is you're actually shutting the gate up to horses bolting. We're trying to store carbon. We have to go back to the source of the emissions and try and reduce them.
And methane sounds like a very strategic place because it is such a powerful greenhouse gas.
Methane, yes. It's 21 times worse than carbon dioxide for its global warming effect.
Yes,
and the beauty with methane is that while they're looking at a lot of blue sky ideas of trying to introduce little microbes out of kangaroos and things, now it's great if they can succeed, but quite often we forget about going back to the raw basics of just learning how to manage the landscape better and the animals produce less methane ever since.
How do we actually monitor that? Because I know rules are hard, they get in the way, but at the end of the day, unless we can actually measure and in some way have a credible sense of how long we're locking this up for, it's very difficult to find any sort of a market, isn't it?
It's very, very hard, and it's a legal contract. It has to be transparent. It has to be measured, which means you have all those extra costs involved.
Yes.
And then, in the case of real producers, if they're locking into a contract to store carbon for, say, 80 years, there's also the other issue is that they lose it. They have to go back to the marketplace. Now, they might, for instance, sell their carbon for $20 a tonne and have to buy it back at 30. Now, that's not saying we shouldn't do it, but people have to be aware of what commercially can go wrong in these processes. Now, if we have climate change and they work out how their landscapes function, and then under new climate regimes, what did store carbon might not store carbon. And so we're dealing with all these unknowns.
Lots of uncertainties.
And the reason I keep coming back to methane is it's something we can do today. It's not something you've committed to for the next 20 or 30 years that the bank manager will keep reminding you about. It's a really big bang for the buck. We haven't gone to one of the biggest outcomes we can achieve so easily.
And again, your proposition is that it's profitable, forget about a carbon market, it's profitable to manage methane today.
Exactly right. As Patrick Francis, the editor of the Australian Farm Journal, said, I don't know, 2 years ago, he said the astute rural producers will store carbon, not so much to trade it, although they are entitled to be rewarded, they will store it because they make more money. And when you actually look at all these issues of storing carbon, once we actually manage to get more carbon in the soil becomes more functional, so the water infiltrates better, the water gets stored for longer, and so they're all positive things in storing carbon, but then this is where it gets even more fascinating nature. They're all intertwined. Once you actually have the soil storing more water and absorbing more water, it means that then the plants remain greener for longer. That is the methane debate again. We keep going round and round in the same circles, is that we have to look at the type of plants we grow for digestibility, but then we have to keep them green. And again, that's a carbon story.
And let me cap this off with even a greater level of complexity. Coming back to your issue about rain and water and carbon intensity. What are the implications? You know, the CSIRO has predicted that large parts of Australia will actually become higher rainfall zones as a result of, you know, a warming climate. Does that mean that the rules will the baseline will shift in terms of what our aggregate agricultural output from carbon actually is?
Yes, there's going to be different results everywhere. Mm-hmm. Now, increased temperature will actually encourage those little critters in the soil to actually consume more of the organic matter. So we'll actually lose more. And so there's this terrific trade-off all the time. Mm-hmm. And then when you get into those low rainfall countries, areas that actually lose their rain, they won't be able to grow their plants as well. Mm-hmm. And so yes, there's going to be winners and losers in this whole debate. And the only one that'll be able to do it is to actually model. And unfortunately, we don't have the science.
We don't have the science. How far are we from really having, you know, the carbon market evolve to cover agriculture in Australia? How far are we, do you think, from having the science to actually measure the credible outcomes?
Remembering I'm not a scientist, I personally, and I come back to say, I'd personally say that it could take another 10 years. Yeah. There's a lot of people outside government looking into these things. Mm-hmm. Just at the moment, I've been shortlisted for a Churchill Fellowship. Fantastic. And I'm going over, hopefully, I was just about hopefully, yes. Going to America and to South Africa and Wales to try and look into a lot of these processes that actually occur in the soil. Yes. Now, if we can understand these processes better, it'll then allow us to understand the science better. And then we can actually model. Okay. So,
look, that sounds fascinating. So, Alan, in a nutshell, your message to growers is?
Focus on when the carbon arrives, because it's the carbon that is the very cornerstone of what you do in life. If you don't manage carbon, you actually have a very, very inefficient production system. And to take it one step further for the broader debate of your audience, is that the greenhouse outcomes of rural production are actually a reflection of economic efficiency. We are sitting on a win-win debate if we just shift our focus, not change the science.
Very good. Thank you so much, Alan. Really appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure.